Here's the thing, life's a ride, and it's going to throw you curveballs. You know that. You've seen it. We've all been there. But what if I told you that the real secret to success, the one thing that's going to keep you going when the dust settles, is not about staying in one place. No, it's about constantly reinventing yourself. See, we get so caught up in the idea that we need to be one thing, that we got to have it all figured out. But the hidden art of reinvention is not about changing who you are. It's about discovering the next version of yourself, one that's bolder, braver, and ready to tackle the world with a whole new mindset. So let me ask you this. Are you ready to get out of your own way and become who you were always meant to be? Let's dive into that. Change is inevitable. It's constant. And it's coming whether you're ready or not. The question is, how do you respond to it? Most people resist change because it's unfamiliar, uncomfortable, or even frightening. We've all been there. The human instinct is to seek stability, to hold on to what's known, and to fear what's uncertain. But here's the thing. Change is the very force that propels us forward. Without it, we would remain stagnant, trapped in the same patterns, never growing, never evolving. When you learn to embrace change, you open yourself up to opportunities you never imagined. Change isn't the enemy. It's a chance to expand, to redefine who you are, and to discover new dimensions of your potential. It's the universe's way of telling you it's time to grow, to stretch, to adapt. Change forces you to evolve and reinvent yourself, often in ways you couldn't have planned or predicted. Think about it, all the breakthroughs in history, all the innovations that have shaped our world came from those who were willing to embrace change. Whether it's a career pivot, a personal transformation, or a shift in perspective, embracing change allows you to take control rather than be controlled. It's not about forcing the change, but about being open to it, being adaptable, and understanding that nothing stays the same forever. The more you resist, the more you're holding yourself back. The more you embrace change, the more you're actively participating in your own evolution. The key is to stop viewing change as a threat and start seeing it as the opportunity it truly is. Let go of fear. Fear is the number one thing that holds most people back from reinventing themselves. It's the voice in your head that tells you you're not ready, that you'll fail, or that you're not good enough. But fear is just a feeling, not a fact. It's an emotion designed to protect you, to keep you in your comfort zone. But the problem is that comfort zone is often where dreams go to die. When you let fear control your decisions, you limit your potential. You stay stuck in the safety of what's familiar, even when what's familiar is no longer serving you. Fear keeps you from taking risks, from stepping into the unknown, from doing the very thing that could lead to your greatest growth. But here's the thing. When you let go of fear, you free yourself from self-imposed limitations. Fear is a signal, not a roadblock. It's a sign that you're on the edge of something new, something bigger. The only way to move past it is to acknowledge it, but not let it dictate your actions. You don't need to eliminate fear completely. You just need to stop letting it control you. Now, to truly reinvent yourself, you have to walk through the fear. It's stepping into uncertainty with courage, knowing that failure is not the end, but a part of the journey. When you let go of fear, you embrace the possibility of failure, but also the immense opportunity for success. Fear may always be there lurking in the background, but it doesn't have to be the reason you stay stuck. Fear is only a barrier if you let it be. So don't let it stop you. Break free from comfort zones. Comfort zones are like invisible cages. They create a sense of security, but they also keep you locked in a place where growth is impossible. In a comfort zone, everything is familiar, predictable, and easy, but comfort does not breed change. It doesn't challenge you to push your limits or reach for something greater. If you want to reinvent yourself, you have to step out of that cage and embrace the discomfort that comes with it. When you remain in your comfort zone, you're essentially operating on autopilot. Your mind, body, and spirit are coasting through life without ever truly engaging. You're not growing. You're not evolving. In fact, you're often regressing because you're avoiding the very thing that forces you to change, challenge. Growth happens when you push yourself beyond what feels comfortable, when you do something you've never done before, take risks, face uncertainty, and allow yourself to fail, because failure too is part of the reinvention process. Breaking free from your comfort zone doesn't mean taking reckless risks or abandoning everything you know. It means being willing to step into the unknown, to try new things, and to embrace challenges even when they feel overwhelming. It means getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. This is where the magic happens. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, you create a new version. You stretch your limits, increase your confidence, and gain new skills that help you navigate life's complexity. Comfort zones may offer short-term relief, but they will never lead to lasting transformation. To reinvent yourself, you have to be willing to step into the unknown, to face discomfort head on, and to trust that you are capable of navigating whatever comes next. The only true growth is found when you break free from what's easy and push yourself toward the next level of your potential. Learn from failures. Failure is not the end of the road. It's merely a signpost pointing you toward the right direction. Too often, we view failure as a negative, something to be avoided at all costs. But in reality, failure is one of the most powerful teachers we have. It reveals the areas where we need to improve, where we need to grow, and where we've been holding ourselves back. Every failure contains a lesson if you're open to receiving it. When you fail, it's easy to feel defeated. It's natural to question your abilities, to wonder if you're even cut out for what you're trying to achieve. But failure doesn't mean you're not good enough. It just means you haven't figured it out yet. Each time you fail, you gain new insights, new skills, and new wisdom that can help you get closer to your goal. The most successful people didn't get to where they are by avoiding failure. They got there by learning from it. To reinvent yourself, you have to embrace failure as part of the journey. It's not something to be feared or avoided, something to be experienced and understood. If you're not failing, you're not pushing hard enough. You're not testing your limits or stepping out of your comfort zone. Failure is proof that you're trying, that you're learning, and that you're growing. It's an essential part of the process. The key is not to let failure define you, but to let it refine you. Take the lessons, dust yourself off, and try again with greater wisdom and resilience. Every failure brings you one step closer to success, because each time you fail, you learn how not to do it. And eventually, your identity is not set in stone. It's not a permanent label or a fixed image of who you are. It's fluid, dynamic, and ever evolving. One of the most powerful aspects of reinvention is the ability to redefine who you are. We often become so attached to our past selves, to the stories we've told ourselves, that we forget we have the power to reshape our identities at any given moment. Well, the first step is understanding that your identity isn't something you're stuck with. It's something you can change, adapt, and evolve as you see fit. Reinvention isn't about becoming a completely different person, but about shedding the old layers that no longer serve you and embracing a new version of yourself. This process requires self-awareness and a willingness to let go of limiting beliefs. It's about recognizing that who you were yesterday does not define who you are today or who you can be tomorrow. Your past, your mistakes, your setbacks, they don't have to dictate your future. You have the ability to reshape your narrative. To reinvent your identity, you need to ask yourself, who do I want to become? And then start aligning your actions, thoughts, and behaviors with that vision. You don't need to wait for permission to evolve. You don't need to hold on to old versions of yourself just because they're familiar. Reinvention requires the courage to let go of what no longer serves you, whether it's a job, a relationship, or an old mindset, and to step into the person you're becoming. This is about taking ownership of your own growth. It's about claiming your power to choose who you want to be in this moment, regardless of your past. Reinventing your identity isn't a one-time event. It's a continuous process of self-discovery and transformation. The more you embrace this fluidity, the more empowered you become to create a version of yourself that's constantly evolving, expanding, and adapting to the world around you. Stay curious. Curiosity is the spark that keeps you searching for answers, growing, and reinventing yourself. It's the fuel for innovation, the drive behind self-discovery, and the foundation for constant learning. The moment you stop being curious, you stop evolving. Curiosity pushes you to ask questions, explore new possibilities, and challenge assumptions. It allows you to see beyond the surface, to dive deeper, and to continuously search for ways to improve yourself and your life. Curiosity is the opposite of complacency. When you're complacent, you stop questioning the status quo, and you begin to accept things as they are. But when you stay curious, you're never content with the way things are. You're always looking for ways to do things better, to see things from a different angle, to learn something new. This mindset is essential when it comes to reinventing yourself. If you're not curious, you're not growing. Curiosity also keeps you open to new experiences and opportunities. It encourages you to explore uncharted territories, whether that's a new career, a different perspective, or a fresh challenge. By staying curious, you're continuously expanding your horizons. You understand that learning doesn't stop at school or at a certain age. It's a lifelong journey. To reinvent yourself, you have to nurture your curiosity. Don't let the comfort of what you already know trap you. Ask questions. Be open to new ideas. Seek out new experiences. Embrace the unknown and be willing to look foolish or make mistakes along the way. It's all part of the process. The more curious you are, the more doors open for you. Curiosity is the key that unlocks your potential and keeps you moving forward. Build resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back when life knocks you down. It's the strength to keep going when everything inside you wants to quit. And let me tell you, if you're serious about reinventing yourself, resilience will be your greatest asset. Life doesn't care how well you plan or how hard you work. There will be setbacks, failures, and challenges along the way. But resilience gives you the courage to keep moving, even when the path ahead is unclear. Sometimes the only way the consciousness and the brain computes the action is resilience gives you the courage to keep moving, even when the path ahead is unclear. It's easy to feel defeated when things don't go your way. It's easy to want to give up, to say, this is too hard. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. But resilient people don't give in to those feelings. They acknowledge the pain, the frustration, and the disappointment, but they refuse to let those emotions dictate their actions. Resilience is about understanding that failure and struggle are part of the process, not signs that you should stop. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by avoiding adversity. They got there by learning how to rise after each fall. To build resilience, you need to develop a mindset that embraces challenges as opportunities. Every obstacle you face is a chance to strengthen your character, sharpen your skills, and deepen your understanding of yourself. It's about training your mind to view setbacks as temporary, not permanent. Resilience isn't about avoiding difficulties, it's about facing them head on, knowing that they'll make you stronger in the long run. The more resilient you are, the more flexible and adaptable you become. You'll be able to withstand the storms of life and continue moving toward your goals, no matter how many times you're knocked down. Resilience is the quiet, unshakable determination that keeps you going, and it's absolutely essential if you want to reinvent yourself and reach your fullest potential. Set new goals. Setting new goals, the compass that guides you through the process of reinvention. Without goals, you're like a ship adrift at sea without direction or purpose. Goals give you something to strive toward, something that pulls you forward when times get tough. But it's not just about setting any goals. It's about setting meaningful, challenging goals that push you to become the next version of yourself. When you're reinventing yourself, your old goals might no longer serve you. You've grown, you've learned, and you've experienced things that have shifted your perspective. So it's time to reevaluate what you want out of life. Your new goals should align with who you're becoming, not who you were. This means being willing to let go of old goals that no longer excite you or align with your new direction. Setting new goals requires clarity and intention. You need to ask yourself, what do I want to create in my life now? Who do I want to become? These aren't questions you answer lightly. They require deep reflection and a willingness to confront your desires, your fears, and your potential. Once you've set those goals, you break them down into actionable steps. This isn't a time for vague promises to yourself. This is a time for concrete plans that keep you accountable and moving forward. Goals provide you with the roadmap for reinvention. They give you a reason to get up each morning and keep pushing, even when the road ahead seems long. Without them, you risk falling back into old habits, old ways of thinking. But with clear goals, you'll have a sense of purpose and direction that makes reinvention feel less like a daunting task and more like an exciting adventure. Trust the process. Reinvention is rarely a smooth, linear journey. There will be ups and downs, twists and turns, and moments of doubt that make you question whether the path you're on is the right one. This is where trusting the process becomes essential. Trusting the process means having faith that every step you take, no matter how small, is moving you toward your goal, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. It's about believing that there is value in the struggle and that each setback or challenge is a part of your growth. When you're reinventing yourself, there will be times when it feels like nothing is happening. You may work hard, take risks, and put in countless hours, but the results don't always show up right away. This can be frustrating. But trust the process means understanding that transformation takes time. You can't rush it, and you can't force it. Growth is gradual, and sometimes the most significant shifts happen beneath the surface, long before they become visible. Trusting the process also requires patience with yourself. Reinvention isn't about instant success or quick fixes. It's about making steady progress and learning as you go. Each day that you show up, even when you don't see immediate results, is a day closer to the person you're becoming. Sometimes it's the small, incremental changes that eventually lead to massive transformation. To truly trust the process, you must detach yourself from the need for immediate validation. You have to focus on the long-term vision, not the short-term outcomes. Believe in the work you're doing and the effort you're putting in. Trust that you're on the right path, even if it feels uncertain. Because in the end, reinvention is not a destination, it's a journey. And every step, even the difficult ones, is part of the process. Stay authentic. In the quest for reinvention, it's crucial to remain true to who you are at your core. The temptation to conform, to follow trends, or to become what others expect of you can be overwhelming. But true transformation doesn't come from trying to be someone else. It comes from embracing your authentic self, flaws and all, and aligning your actions with your deepest values. Being authentic means you don't have to put on a mask or pretend to be perfect. It means you acknowledge your strengths, own your weaknesses, and show up as the person you were meant to be without apology. Reinvention isn't about creating a false version of yourself that meets societal standards. It's about peeling back the layers of who you think you should be to uncover who you truly are. When you're authentic, you're not just reinventing your life, you're reclaiming it. Staying authentic also requires the courage to make choices that align with your true values, even when they're unpopular or risky. It's about choosing integrity over convenience and truth over approval. The world doesn't need another copy of someone else. It needs you and all your uniqueness. When you embrace your authentic self, you attract the right opportunities, relationships, and experiences that are in alignment with your personal truth. Authenticity is the foundation of lasting reinvention. Without it, any change you make will be surface level and unsustainable. When you reinvent yourself while staying authentic, you don't just change what you do, you change the way you show up in the world. And that shift, rooted in your authenticity, will be the most powerful transformation. Reinvention is not a one-time event. It's a continuous process of growth, learning, and evolving into the person you're truly meant to be. It's about embracing change, letting go of fear, and stepping beyond your comfort zones. It's about learning from failure, redefining your identity, staying curious, and building the resilience needed to face the inevitable challenges along the way. But reinvention requires you to set new goals, trust the process, and above all, stay authentic to who you are. In a world that is constantly changing, the ability to reinvent yourself is not just a tool for success, it's a key to survival and fulfillment. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or the ideal circumstances to begin. The moment to reinvent yourself is now, and it starts with the decisions you make today. You have the power to create the next chapter of your life, to shape it into something that reflects your truest, most powerful self. So take that first step, embrace the unknown, trust the journey, and know that each challenge you face is leading you toward the best version of yourself. The art of reinvention is yours to master.